Every year, the New York Stock Exchange's tree lighting is a huge celebration that brings together our entire community. Here at the Big Board, check out the history of how the tree lighting is powered.
Our next segment is electric. Here to heat things up and break down the history of the power grid and to share more about how the tree gets lit is our NYSE curator, Anna Mello. Anna, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Ashley.
All right, so how did New York City get its power?
The history of powering New York City is very long and very cumbersome, but the very first permanent power station in the world was opened in 1882 on Pearl Street by Thomas Edison. And the very next year after that, in 1883, the New York Stock Exchange retrofitted our old building with electrical light. So the NYSE was one of the earliest buildings to be powered with electricity here in Manhattan, one of the first buildings to be powered with electricity in America at all. And glass lights were very inefficient, they were smelly, they were dangerous, so changing over to electrolyte was a huge benefit, not just for the health of the brokers, but for the health of the market.
You mentioned the Pearl Street Power Station. Did it continue to serve the NYSE?
Yes, so the Pearl Street Power Station was built in that specific location because Thomas Edison understood that he needed money in order to build that power station, and so he called upon the financiers of Wall Street. One of the largest donors, one of the largest supporters of the power station was J.P. Morgan. And that is why we ended up having America's and the world's first permanent power station just a couple of blocks away from Wall Street.
All right, so that brings us to the tree. How does the tree get its power, and how has that changed in the past 102 years?
That's a great question. So the tree gets its power, of course, today from the power grid, from the stock exchange. But in the past, our current building, which opened in 1903, was actually built to have its own dynamo. So we used to generate our own electricity. So the earliest tree that we ever lit in 1923 was powered by the stock exchange itself.
NYSE curator Anna Mello, thank you so much for joining us.
I recently had the pleasure of catching up with Keith Dawkins, president of the one and only Harlem Globetrotters, to discuss plans for the team's 100th anniversary tour. Take a look. All right, it really does not get cooler than this. Say hello to the Harlem Globetrotters, including Keith Dawkins. He is president of the Harlem Globetrotters and Hershen Entertainment Studios, with the one and only splash from the Globetrotters themselves. Thank you both for being here. Really great to have you.
This is fantastic.
So 100 years.
100 years.
What a legacy behind this incredible entertainment product. What does this mean to you to not only be here for the New York Stock Exchange, but to have such an incredible milestone?
Well, you know, I was saying to someone earlier, I feel like it's like history in history, right? It's like the world famous Harlem Globetrotters. We're playing at the Mecca, the world's most famous arena, but here we are, like the financial capital of the world, right? Where the markets are made, and that's pretty spectacular and pretty awesome. So it means everything to us. 100 years of excellence, 100 years of joy and possibilities of hope. We'll have our entire Globetrotter roster out there. These fantastic new uniforms they're in. By celebrated designer Jeff Hamilton made these for us. So it's really an exciting experience.
Wait, can you talk to me about the design of the uniforms that Splash got right now?
Yeah, so we brought the red, white.
100-year brand.
Listen, let's turn around for a little bit. So we brought the red, white, and blue back. We had been out of the red, white, and blue for a few years. New logo, right? 100 years, the 5 stars, the original 5 Globetrotters, the Savoy 5, when Avis Saperstein founded the group back in 1926.
Wow.
World famous, kind of a nod to, that's what we call ourselves, right? We could travel some 250 tour dates around North America, another 150 tour dates around the rest of planet Earth, right? So, and the red, white, and blue, the stars and stripes, right? I always say to people, if I was the President of the United States, which I wouldn't want to be, my Secretary of State would be the Harlem Globetrotters, because everywhere they show up, people just love them. It's fantastic.
I have a sneaking suspicion you probably like the job you're doing now a little
Yeah,
bit more than you would be for
1000%.
president. But what a great partner for MSG. You got the world famous Harlem Globetrotters at the world's most famous arena. What does that partnership look like?
It's been great. We were able to get back to the Garden about 3 years ago.
Wow.
And we had an eye towards, we wanted to kick this thing off really in a spectacular way for the 100-year anniversary with them. Listen, they've had some of the most iconic events happen there, right? Ali Frazier 1 was there, right? The fight of the century. Billy Joel residency and a variety of other things have been there. And so we really take pride. We love all of our venue partners. Because they're important to us everywhere we play around the globe. But it's special to be in the Garden, right? And we have a lot of players who are from the New York area, so they're excited about that.
Can you talk to me a bit about inclusion and some of the ways that you and the operation, you continue to break barriers 100 years later? What does that look like? And constantly having those conversations as an operation.
So you know what's interesting, and that's an important thing for us. I'm glad you asked it, because a lot of people think that, like, oh, it's Steph Curry and Kyrie Irving who are able to do these. I'm like, That wasn't seen in basketball ever. The Globetrotters started that. That blend of sports and entertainment right now, that is, when you think about these financial markets, right? It's like the college football playoffs, and that's a $2 billion franchise in terms of that idea, right? And NIL and all those things. That sports as entertainment, the globalization of the sport, merchandise and licensing being a thing that people want to attach themselves to, the first woman being signed to a professional men's team long before the WNBA, right, which expanded the base and the footprint. In a simpler world then, right, but showing up in a multitude of ways, a live tour, a television product, consumer products, all those things, that all started with the Globetrotters.
Talk to me a little bit more about the 2026 Global Tour, what people can expect, and some of the places that you and the players are most excited to visit.
Listen, we'll be 250 tour dates around North America, so literally everywhere about North America. Across the rest of the globe, you're talking Australia, New Zealand, all throughout Asia, northern part of Africa, all throughout Europe, so there's no place that we don't cover. We're really excited about that. We got these new uniforms we brought out. We have a variety of new partners on the collectibles front, trading cards, lottery programs we're doing, a whole assortment of things. Retail programs we're doing, Walmart, Target, and others. Gaming programs, NBA 2K. I mean, it's just a long list of partners.
That's
and we're
amazing.
just super excited. And new talent that we brought on board this year. So it's
there
really
we
great.
go. Well, congratulations to both you guys. Thanks a lot for being here. I got to say, I've been a huge fan of the brand since I was a kid.
Awesome.
My mom used to take me at the old Meadowlands Arena to see. I went to a basketball camp with the great
Meadowlands,
Curly
that's
Neal
great.
back in the day. He
Yeah.
ran a basketball camp
Right.
for us. It got me so hyped on the brand. Congratulations
You were
on
a center?
everything. Thanks a lot. Oh, yeah, for sure. You can tell, right? Yeah. My 5'11" stature. 5'11" on a good day.
Right.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks,
Good to
brother.
have both of you
Thank
guys.
you.
Thanks a lot, Splash. What a pleasure. Welcome back to Taking Stock's Christmas Eve show here at the New York Stock Exchange. At the very beginning of the holiday season, I spoke with Major Philip Wittenberg of the one and only Salvation Army to discuss the terrific work that they are doing to help New Yorkers this and every holiday season. Take a look. Joining me now is both Shieldy of the Salvation Army and say hello to Major Philip Wittenberg of the Salvation Army as well. Just rang the closing bell. Welcome to you and your team. It's really great to have you on the show today, Philip.
Well, we're honored to be here, and it was an exciting moment, ringing the bell the night before Thanksgiving. So what an honor.
I said this at the top of the broadcast. It's one of our favorite traditions here during the Thanksgiving season. Talk to me first and foremost about not just the bell ringing experience, but really what this means here at the New York Stock Exchange for the incredible team and the work you do at the Salvation Army.
I think this is really a beautiful call to action the night before Thanksgiving to ring the bell, the New York Stock Exchange to remind everyone that this is the season of Thanksgiving and grace and giving, and almost a call to action to call and to reinvigorate the generosity of the American people. So perfect timing.
Can you talk to me about a few of the ways that the Salvation Army, of the many ways, supports New Yorkers in particular during this holiday season?
Well, let me give you a personal example. Before I took the subway over here today, I was in Astoria, Queens, where we have our place, and we had handed out 200 Thanksgiving meals on the street. Lines going around the corner, very personal, very beautiful. Hop on the subway, come here, closing bell for the stock exchange. So all over New York metro area, all over this country, thousands upon thousands of Thanksgiving meals have been handed out just in the last few days. Just as one example of what we're doing.
That's incredible work that you and the team at Salvation Army do, all the volunteers as well. Talk to me about the role of corporate partnerships and others that are really crucial to making sure that the good faith work you want to do can actually help get executed at scale for the people in communities who really most need it.
Yeah, that is 100% crucial. Like everyone not-for-profit doing what we do, we're facing increasing challenges about how we raise money, right? Mail appeal is what it is. Even our famous red kettles in a cashless society, right? Where it used to be dollars, nickels, pennies were going in that red kettle. That's not so much anymore. So how do you transition that into something? So we are always on the lookout for strong corporate partners to help us reinvent our fundraising and give generosity towards the Salvation Army and the work we've done in New York since the 1880s and around the country.
Yeah, of course, we always see those great red kettles reminded on Thanksgiving Day, football games in the end zones down there in Arlington and other great stadiums. Before I let you go and then send you and the team all the best for the Thanksgiving season, what can people do if they want to support more during this holiday?
You can go to salvationarmyusa.org, salvationarmyusa.org, to see all the ways you can give and volunteer year-round, but especially at Christmas and the days after Thanksgiving. And we just want to say thank you to the public for the generosity over 130 years.
Major Philip Wittenberg of the Salvation Army, with a little help from Shieldy here, of course, for the holiday season. All the best for Thanksgiving. Thank you so much for joining us.
Bless you. Happy Thanksgiving.
In another one of my favorite interviews that we have done here at the New York Stock Exchange this year, I had the incredible opportunity to chat with FDNY Chief John Esposito, as well as Victor Stagnaro of the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation after they rang the closing bell. Take a look. I've been looking forward to this conversation all day. Victor Stagnaro is CEO of the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation, and the Chief of the FDNY, John Esposito. Victor and the Chief both join me. Gentlemen, welcome to the New York Stock Exchange. Thank you both so much for being here.
Thank you for allowing us to be here.
Absolutely. Chief, can I start with you here? Give me your sense on not just ringing the closing bell here at the New York Stock Exchange, but really what this is all about to have your community join us on the floor today.
So we're very happy to be here on the New York Stock Exchange, especially with the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation, to honor the 176 members that were not previously included at the National Fallen Firefighters Memorial in Emmitsburg, Maryland, but the Stock Exchange hosting us this afternoon, ringing the bell. It's a great time, being welcomed on the floor, and the clapping as we come in is great. We know that this neighborhood and this community remembers what happened on 9/11, and we're grateful for it. It's a great afternoon.
Victor, if I say to you 343 and counting, talk to me about what that means to the overall firefighter community here in New York City.
What that means is that firefighters that not only that died on 9/11, but so many more that we're supporting, and their devotion to duty on that day and the days following in the rescue and recovery efforts, and they deserve to be honored just as those 343 were honored at the National Memorial and here in the city.
Yeah, could you both gentlemen talk to me a bit about the ongoing fight? I remember being a Capitol Hill reporter during the Victims Compensation Fund fight with lawmakers, and it really became such a strong bipartisan issue. And you had the John Fields and the John Stewarts of the world making hundreds of trips to Capitol Hill to fight. Why is that still so important to have those conversations and still have that fight on behalf of survivors?
It's important because our people continue to get sick and suffer, right? The tragedy of 9/11 has not and does not end. It continues to this day. We've had, in the last week, we've had another 9/11 illness death, and that number continues, and our people need to be cared for, for what they did. And we talk a lot about never forget, and it's not just never forgetting their memory, it's never forgetting the decisions they made on that day. And I believe that some of our guys knew they were not going home that day and still pushed on and did their job and saved thousands of lives. So we can never forget what they did, and I think we owe it to them to take care of them as we get sick.
Victor, this is not just a random Friday that you're down here. I know this is a really important weekend. Talk to me about what the community is doing specifically tomorrow and what you would know our viewers to know.
Well, tomorrow we'll be honoring the 176 that have not been honored at the National Memorial. Those families will be coming to Staten Island, where they will receive a flag that's been flown over the United States Capitol and over the National Fallen Firefighters Memorial. And when we flew those flags over the National Memorial for the fallen firefighters, we flew them on September 11th. And those honor guards knew that they wanted to do it on that day. So the symbolism of this day, ringing the bell, and what we're doing tomorrow, it really rings throughout that we're not going to forget their sacrifice and their devotion to the responsibilities and their devotion to duty that they had.
Yeah, Chief Esposito, talk to me a bit more about the community, not just for New York City, how the city continues to rally behind the FDNY, but specifically the community of Lower Manhattan. You said you gentlemen well earned get the clap down. This is so important to the entire trading floor of the New York Stock Exchange.
You know, being the chief of the New York City Fire Department, we have some great iconic places throughout the city, and the New York Stock Exchange is one of them. Being welcomed here, and by the people that work here, it's and they remember, right? The people that were here ran out and left that day, right? Because we didn't know what else was happening. These were the people that were walking across the Brooklyn Bridge because subway traffic was shut down and cars couldn't get around, and we do feel a tight bond with this neighborhood and the trading floor down here especially.
Yeah, we love having you guys. It's such a privilege to welcome you all down. I only got a few moments left. How would you like people to continue to show their support for the FDNY?
Well, I think first, check your smoke alarms. Make sure that firefighters don't need to come to your home to fight a fire, so they don't have to risk their lives. But then the other thing is make sure you're supporting them. Make sure you recognize that across the country and in the city of New York, when the bell rings, they're coming. So the ringing of the bell is so iconic for the fire service. So support your local fire service. Make sure you're there for them when they need you.
Chief, how about for you? Ongoing support. What does it look like?
Just being grateful for what our people do and out there and helping the community.
Yeah, it's great to have both of you gentlemen down here at the New York Stock Exchange. On behalf of the entire community, what a pleasure it is to have you guys.
Very nice.
Best of luck with everything this weekend. Thank you both for being here. Welcome back to this very special Christmas Eve edition of Taking Stock here at the NYSC. As we celebrate the season of giving, what better mission to highlight than Ronald McDonald House? Earlier this year, I spoke with Dr. Ruth Brown of Ronald McDonald House, New York, to discuss all of the ways that they support children with pediatric cancer and other serious illnesses. Take a look. Next week, on September 30th, Ronald McDonald House is set to honor Lynn Martin. She is, of course, the 68th president of this fine institution at its annual gala. She's being recognized for her steadfast dedication to supporting women's health and women's wellness. I am now joined, I am so excited to say, by Dr. Ruth C. Brown. She is president of the one and only Ronald McDonald House in New York. It is great to have you here. Welcome to the New York Stock Exchange and welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, first and foremost, can I get your takeaway here from getting to do the bell and recognize everything that's going on with Ronald McDonald House on a special Friday like today?
It's an amazing opportunity for Ronald McDonald House to ring the closing bell. We are absolutely aligned in terms of the bell ringing because we celebrate with the bells when the kids who are battling cancer get to ring a bell and say, I'm cancer free, I finished my treatment.
And it's a really special, I think, moment for all of us in the NYSC community to have our very own Lynn Martin being honored. Can you talk more about what that means and what people can expect next week on the 30th?
Right, so it is our gala for the Ronald McDonald House, and we are so honored to be recognizing Lynn Martin for her amazing leadership for women and women's health and wellness. And this is an opportunity to really recognize somebody who's exemplary in terms of also bringing in others in the fold in support of women's health and wellness, but also in support of Ronald McDonald House, New York. And so it's very special for us to have that opportunity.
And all the more better for us here, for myself as a financial journalist. McDonald's is a great NYSC listed company, up a full % on the day, so the stars certainly aligning since it is the fourth Friday of September. This is Go Gold Day. What is it for a bit of an introduction to people who are unfamiliar?
Absolutely. So Go Gold Day is part of National Cancer Awareness Month, which is September. And Go Gold Day honors all of the children who are battling cancer. And so we are wearing gold because it's, as a color, it symbolizes resilience and hope and perseverance. And very much that is what our heroes, as we call them, are doing.
Yeah, and less than 4% of all federal funding for cancer goes specifically towards child cancer. How important would you say is the philanthropic component to make sure clinical trials can actually happen, can actually become a reality for so many of these children and their families impacted?
Right, so for us, our families have been so many places before they even get to us. And whatever they've done hasn't worked, which is why they're coming to one of our centers of excellence here in New York City. And so this opportunity for them is absolutely life-saving. We are supporting our hospital partners to house families and provide them with all of their social needs so they can be attended to that child's health and that journey.
What more would you want people to know about the Together in Gold Gala and everything that this month means for Ronald McDonald House and even for you personally?
Well, we have several representatives of listed companies who will be honored. Raja Rajamana, who is the CMO at MasterCard, and MasterCard has been a tremendous supporter. We're honoring Vince Tizio, who is the CEO of Axis, and Axis has also been a great partner, and of course, Lynn Martin. We're also honoring an exemplary, long-time pioneer in the research of pediatric cancer, Dr. Richard O'Reilly from Memorial Sloan Kettering.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here. Very best to you and the entire team for Go Gold Day. And of course, goes without saying, you're welcome back here onto the trading floor of the New York Stock Exchange anytime. Dr. Brown, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jake.
Last but certainly not least, NYSC's Ashley Mastronardi caught up with CEO Sharon Price John of Build-A-Bear last week to discuss all of the ways their toys are bringing joy to children all over the world this holiday season.
Sharon Price John, CEO and president of Build-A-Bear Workshop. Sharon, a friend of the New York Stock Exchange,
yes.
Welcome back. How are you doing?
Doing great, thank you. We love the holiday season for, obviously, not just because it's so festive, but because Build-A-Bear is such a big part of the tradition of Christmas. So we're so happy to be here.
How is Build-A-Bear part of that tradition? What do you have planned?
Well, one of the things that we've done over the course of years is to try to weave Build-A-Bear into that family experience, because Build-A-Bear Workshop has always been about experience, and so are the holidays. So we have something called Mission, or Merry Mission, where the goal is to make sure that you come to Build-A-Bear in the part of the celebration, not just get Build-A-Bear under the tree, although that's fine, as well as getting those gift cards in your stockings, but having that experience together and building something like a Santa bear is a lot of fun.
And I understand you also have an exciting Hello Kitty partnership. Can you talk more about that?
Yes, and we do really, really appreciate our relationship with Sanrio. We've had it for over 20 years. And just recently, almost a year, a little over a year ago now, we opened a Hello Kitty, Build-A-Bear and Friends dedicated location in Los Angeles in Westfield Mall. And it was such a success that we're now announced recently on our last earnings call that we would be opening 2 new Hello Kitty locations, one in Mall of America and another in the Dream.
And you've been at the helm of Build-A-Bear for over a decade. You've gone through pandemic shifts, inflation, and now tariff uncertainty. How are you navigating all of these different, headwinds?
Well, one of the things that's really, part of the management of a publicly traded company is that you're always going to have some challenges. And Build-A-Bear was in a turnaround when I first got there about 12 and a half, almost 13 years ago. But in some of the things when you become a CEO, you sort of sign up for, and some of them you're like, whoa, didn't expect, to have the retail apocalypse followed by Brexit, followed by COVID, followed by now tariffs. But I think that it speaks to the underlying strategy, the power of the brand, and how good we are at fundamentals, because we've continued to find a way to navigate through a lot of these difficult times. And just this last third quarter, we announced our expectation by reaffirming guidance to see our 5th consecutive year of record results.
Yeah, and I mean, your stock is up over 20% over the past year, doing phenomenally well. What else do you attribute that growth to?
Well, a lot of the strategies that we've executed, which I alluded to, that part of its strategy and part of its management, skillful management, and a focus on delivering value to our shareholders, is that we've really pushed into the international markets in the last few years. So we're now in 33 countries. And that's been through a combination of a number of different new business models, including something we call partner operated. And we're just now reopening in Europe for the first time in many, many years, including Germany, which was one of our larger markets back when we had a franchise relationship there. So we're really excited about the runway on the international front.
Great. Sharon Price,
Yeah.
CEO and President of Build-A-Bear and Friends. Thank you so much for joining us at the New York Stock Exchange for the holiday season.
Thank you. We're so glad to be here again.
So happy to see you.
Happy holidays.
And that'll do it for our Christmas Eve special of Taking Stock. A very happy birthday to FinTech TV's Hamza Abu Faras. All the best for your big day. Markets closed tomorrow, but open Friday. We'll be back Monday with a brand new show as we wrap up 2025. Wishing you all the best for a very Merry Christmas, and we will see you then.
Woo! Yeah.